Feisworld podcast helps independent creators live their creative and financial freedom. I'm your host, Fei Wu, and I'll be taking you through a series of interviews with creators from around the world who are living life on their own terms. Each episode is packed with tactics, nuggets you can implement, origin stories to make listening productive and enjoyable. We're not only focused on the more aspirational stories, but relatable ones as well. We also have non-interview-based mini-series releasing throughout the year to help deep dive into topics such as freelancing, marketing, even indie filmmaking that will benefit creators like you. Show notes, links, and ways to connect with the guests are available on Feisworld.com. Now, onto the show. Hey guys, this is Fei Wu, your host for this podcast. I know for some of you, you've been listening to it for a long time, but I always have new listeners. So if you're new, I want to welcome you and acknowledge how much I appreciate you. And today, I am recording a mini episode. And you know what? Originally, we were thinking about releasing a regular interview episode, but something big happened. And as of yesterday, which was on Wednesday, November 6th, we announced finally that our documentary series went live on Amazon Prime. So it took me by surprise because at that point I had been working with Amazon Prime for weeks, probably closer to, 6 to 8 weeks at that point. And I didn't really know what to expect because, as some of you guys found out, I had a really bad experience working with a distributor between the months of May and basically mid-September. And it was pretty heartbreaking. It was a lot of money. We didn't hear anything back. And for the feedback we did get sporadically, it was not very useful. And it was really hard to wrangle my documentary team. At that time, people were off the project for nearly a year. And they were busy doing other things. And so I was really over the moon to see that people now can finally simply search for Feisworld, Feisworld, on Amazon Prime. And it's a channel, it's a service that all of us, most of us, have been using, at least in North America. And it just felt really phenomenal. I know personally, I watch equal amount of content on Hulu and Netflix and Amazon Prime. In fact, I often find that Amazon Prime is the one that comes with more edgy and more unpredictable and also more independent creative work, which always drew my attention. So I'm just so glad to be on that platform. And I have to say that working with Amazon On Demand and Amazon Video On Demand as a sort of a department of a team that accepts and reviews these assets has been a wonderful experience. They have a support link and you're able to contact them directly. This is something that I also shared on my YouTube channel as well. And I feel so appreciative of when people are doing things the right way, because it's really hard to make a documentary films, especially during the marketing phase, during post-production and marketing and get it into the market. So that's what I want to say first. And second, I want to thank my community, and that means you guys. If you're new, please go check out the film on Amazon Prime. And to welcome you as a new listener. If you live outside of the US and UK, for right now, you're unable to watch it on Amazon Prime, so I would love to encourage you to reach out to me anywhere at Feisworld on social media or drop me an email, feisworld@gmail.com, and I'm going to give you a code to allow you to watch our docuseries anywhere in the world for free on Video On Demand. Sorry, I meant Vimeo On Demand. That's our second channel so far. And we're also working with Film Hub to distribute the film on other platforms and channels as well, and even some parts of Asia. So we're super excited, and so far, and it's only been weeks working with Film Hub, our docuseries has been selected as part of the Fearless Network. It's a brand new network, as well as Filmocracy, like democracy, but Filmocracy. So They are under review right now, and it's actually, the film has been delivered to them, but it still takes 6 to 8 weeks for these platforms to fully kind of pick it up and make it public. So the feedback I've been getting consistently from people who have seen the series, I think a lot of people are really shocked by the quality of it. And what I mean by quality is the sheer technical power and consideration that went into the work. We invested in a Canon C200 cinematic camera. This was a choice by both my producer, Dan Cooper, as well as my director and director of photography, Ed Gregory. They both have been working in video production for a long time, and that was our choice. I don't even know if Canon C200 is still hot in the market. I mean, it certainly was the right choice as of a year ago. And we invested a lot, money and time on setting up the lighting for the set. When I say set, that means, wherever we travel to in LA or New York, we will get there before the client or the guest does 2 to 3 hours ahead of time. It was really challenging in New York. That means we have to all get up at 6 a.m. and be out the door before 7 o'clock. And, lighting was everything. The jawline, the shadow on your face, and making you look awake and more three-dimensional. And, that really took time. It was really artistic and just phenomenal to watch, to see how people do their work. And as a result, I developed a lot of respect for my team, for the way that they work. And they really shielded me from doing so much of that, not hurting myself, not really exhausting myself, but to focus on what I needed to do to prepare for the interview, and, drinks and food and things like that. And the feedback I've gotten, I'm going to mention people's first names for their privacy, but Renee said, "So proud of you. The docuseries is awesome. I'm on episode 3 right now. So far, number 2, which is Crossing Borders, is my favorite. I love hearing about people's backgrounds and how people conquered life challenges to embrace who they truly are." And I was surprised because I know Renee, was born and raised here. And Crossing Borders are with my 2 guests who are immigrants living in America, Basila Bukoko and Sarah Cooper. And their stories are amazing. And I really had no idea that would resonate with someone who isn't, by definition, a first-generation immigrant. And second is from Steven. "Wow, this is fantastic. The production quality was amazing. That's a show that could easily be a segment on CBS Sunday morning. Human interest stories, great video, interesting people. Congratulations." And then thirdly, from Tammy, and she expressed actually on Zoom with me, so I actually did a bit of a recording. She really liked episode 4 with Seth Godin and Dory Clark. She knows Dory Clark very well, and she has seen a lot of interviews by or with Seth Godin, and she thought that I did a good job because I kind of brought the more human side of Seth Godin out. And, Seth is hands down what I believe, the number one most influential person really in my life when it comes to entrepreneurship and creativity. People outside of my parents, I guess. And he has had a phenomenal impact on me and my business and the way I think. It's not even anything so specific about certain actions I take, but what I needed to think and consider before taking that action. So I want to thank Seth Godin. I want to also thank Tammy for her great feedback, because I truly was nervous, even though I was very prepared. But actually, before the interview, this is giving away a bit of behind-the-scenes content. The Seth Godin was walking with me to the recording studio, which, by the way, was actually in the hotel room. Anyway, he said to me, what are some of the questions you want to ask? I gave him some examples, and he immediately said, "Look, I don't want to talk about my own journey because it's not relatable or helpful. I actually want to say things and, ask me questions that will actually help other people to think about the journey they're on." And I basically had to revamp and reimagine my questions 5 minutes before we started recording. And you know what? That was, in a way, liberating, because I just thought to myself, this is it. This is my one chance with Seth Godin, and he's here, and I got to change some of my questions, and I should know what I need to ask, because I've read all his books and I'm a podcast interviewer for over 5 years, and let me just do my thing. And I think I did it okay. And Seth actually said thank you. He told me I was good at what I was doing, even though I really wasn't feeling that way at the end of the interview. So there's that. I want to tell you guys a bit about what the marketing effort has been for like a day and a half. And well, not really. I mean, since the launch on Amazon Prime and also Vimeo On Demand, yeah, it's been about a day. I want to tell you what I need to do and some of the ideas I have from a very general sense, because otherwise I think I could just sit here and talk to you guys all night long. First is a media kit. The reason why I don't want to call it a press kit, I guess, well, press kit is okay, but typically what press kit means is it's kind of a premiere and you're telling the world for the first time, you're giving the information that they need, they as in newspapers and media outlets in general. But I really need to still develop an official media kit. Right now, if you go to feisworld.com/documentary, you're going to see the synopsis, the intent, a director's message, and all of that, guest pictures from the documentary. And I build all of that when I was still developing the film or in post-production. And, even before we started, got on the road before August 2018, I started pulling all that information together and started to fill in over time because I wanted to start submitting to festivals. And one of the reasons why you may be wondering why we didn't go down the festival route was I really didn't want to wait for the entire possibly the entire 12 months to even see the light, to even share the documentary with other people. So that's why I kind of held back on the festival, even though festivals certainly come with a lot of benefits. These premieres and previews and screenings that will get your film out the door and be shown to a sort of a private audience. But I just couldn't, I was so impatient, I couldn't wait. So I need to further develop my media kit is the punchline. I need to, update the guest images and a bio appropriately to introduce them. And I want to organize it in such a way where, a newspaper or, I don't know, a TV station could just pick it up and they know what the introduction, they know what the series is about, what it's not about. The audience, the type of audience it will resonate with, who I am, all that jazz. And some, images, including behind the scenes images and also still shots from the documentary. That's what I'm working on. And speaking of outreach, it will be great if you guys have some ideas that you want to share with me, encourage me to kind of explore. And by the way, I'm recording this as close to midnight on Thursday, so a day after I found out that the film is live on Prime. And I've already been brainstorming outreach to local schools, media outlets, organizations, newsletters, newspapers, magazines, radio stations, TV stations. Trust me, I know it sounds overwhelming, and I certainly feel overwhelming. And I'm trying to kind of control that chaos in my head, trying not to think about all the things I should have done, but I haven't done yet. So I welcome your thoughts, and please let me know. If you want to help me out, if you want to check out the series again, just get in touch with me. Lastly, I want to say a few things about Feisworld Podcast, which is this very podcast you've been listening to. We have so many things to focus on, including the marketing of the documentary, but also developing super cool content, I promise you guys, on our YouTube channel, which is called Feisworld Media. But we are the only Feisworld on YouTube. So if you search FEISWORLD on YouTube, then you will find us right away. And I'm sharing some of the overlapping themes that you have heard on the show, but, first of all, for example, like how to podcast, freelance, DIY your documentary, similar to the mini-series, but with a new twist, which is up close and personal. I even upgraded my camera recently, which is now a Sony a6400 that gives you that kind of more cinematic look, a blurry background, and me kind of popping in like the in front of the video. You can see me more closely, and I think it's more intimate. I want to explore different things. I've actually shot videos on all kinds of cameras before, including my iPhone, my iPad, my Canon G7X, even my GoPro. Who knows? I mean, we're really experimenting, but the content is what matters. And on that channel, I really want to teach you and celebrate you and helping independent creators and creative entrepreneurs to really live their creative and financial freedom. Because guess what? We all want to be creative. We want to be free. But in order to do that, there needs to be some amount of financial support to make it a reality. And that's what I want to do. I want to teach and share so much. I'm recording a lot of content non-stop. I have 40 to 50 pieces of videos in my backlog, and Herman and are just, working constantly to produce more and better videos for you to watch and for you to listen to. And we're also repurposing all our podcasts slowly, a few episodes a week, and push them as audiograms through the use of an amazing app called repurpose.io to YouTube. Speaking of repurpose.io, surprisingly, next week at the same time on Friday, actually you're going to hear directly from the founder of repurpose.io. Especially if you're a creator, you don't even need to be a podcaster. You could be an entrepreneur who's broadcasting on Facebook Live and things like that. It will really help your business because essentially it's helping you repurpose content across different channels. And they just released a new feature to do that on LinkedIn as well. So that's my update, and I'm getting quite tired right now, but I'm just so excited to be here with you. And oh man, I can't really describe how I'm feeling right now. It just feels so surreal. You don't have to be a star. You don't have to be a Hollywood star to feel this way. Do what you love and to put your work out there. So I'm not gonna do too much editing of this episode, and I hope you tune back in on our next episode of a regular interview with Hanny Mora. And after that, I hope you will forgive us from time to time when I'm not releasing Feisworld podcast, this regular sort of interview podcast on a weekly basis, as we're producing again more content on YouTube. But I'm gonna try to come back here, and who knows, we might spin up new mini podcasts on Anchor. There is one out there already, which is called Circus from Feisworld. If you look or go to anchor.com, anchor.fm, that's where you'll find that mini series. So we're experimenting, and please be patient with us, and I'll try to put out as much new content that will interest you as much as I can. So much love from me to you, and have a great evening or day whenever you listen to this. And thank you so much for being part of Feisworld.